13th of 2021. We're at the Stoughton Plan Commission meeting. We do have a quorum. And the first item on the agenda is to consider approval of the minutes from the last meeting. I would entertain a motion to do so.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second by the two Toms. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 And any opposed? None opposed, the minutes carry. Next item is the council representative report. I can't tell if Alderperson Caravello is on here or not.
I don't believe so.
I don't see. All right, we'll just skip that and we can always come back to it. Then that would take us to the staff report. Anything you'd like to report out, Rodney?
Nothing of particular interest to highlight, other than I think you've all been seeing progress being made on the Pizza Hut relocation and the Starbucks facility. So I think they're being noticed in the public as soon to be new arrivals or new openings.
All right, any questions on the staff report?
Rodney, could you go, what are the non-compliance issues with the Dollar Tree, just offhand? And what citations are issued?
Yeah, so they have some site plan issues. Their dumpster enclosure wasn't installed as it was approved. Also, we've got some heartburn over the infiltration basin not being completed as described. We've also separately got some sidewalk replacement issues that have to occur. So we're working through a number of issues, and as was noted, there has been some citations, or at least one issued to date.
Okay, thanks. I was just curious about that.
All right, and I'll just jump back to the council report. The only thing I recall seeing on there, which was in the minutes, was the request for the commercial indoor lodging for 210 Water Street, and I believe that's on the city council for agenda for consideration tomorrow night. Okay, next item would be item number 5 is a request by Todd Kane of Cummins CES for approval of a site plan for an employee shelter and a patio area at Cummins at 1801 US Highway 51. Would you like to introduce this, Director Shield?
Sure. This is a relatively benign, but hopefully positive improvement that's being made for the employees at the location. The site plan approval step through Plan Commission is necessary based on the zoning code, and it's included in your packet for discussion. Todd Keene is on the line if there are some questions or if you'd like him to present anything.
Well, the only question I have is the sidewalk that's coming up from the front. I would assume that is coming from the bottom right corner of the plan. Is that for handicap access? Because the steps in the back won't suffice for that.
Yeah, so the sidewalk coming off that lower right is ADA accessible, designed for handicap access. So yeah, you are correct.
Okay, and so coming out of the building, I noticed on the main site plan, the overall site, that it looked like there was a set of stairs, and then I couldn't tell if there was a ramp next to the stairs. Not on this plan. I think it's on the survey. Yes, correct. Right there. Yes, if you look over where that sidewalk comes on up close to the building. No, come on up to the building itself over on the right. Oh, right there. Yeah, you had it right. Okay, but if you go into the building, there is a set of stairs there, and then next to that, is that a ramp? Yes.
No, that's a loading. No, that's a loading dock.
how would the people get out of the building and to that sidewalk? Then is there a different area where they'd be coming out of?
Yeah, we have at-grade access in several areas of the facility.
Okay,
So all the way around the large square building.
yes,
Most of those exiting entrances are at grade, handicap accessible.
okay. Well, that was my only question. The rest of it looks good.
All right, any other questions from commissioners? All right, hearing none, the resolution is in the packet and on the screen. I would entertain a motion for the resolution.
I'll make the motion to approve that to council.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Just for clarification, this is not a council item. It just isn't a site plan approval by plan commission.
Very good. Then not to council, but just recommendation from plan.
All right, so it's a motion to approve it in a second. Any more discussion?
Just one,
Oh, go ahead.
it's not so much anything with this project per se, but as to the conversation we're having. Gentlemen, there's no such thing as handicap. There are disabled people, but there are no handicapped people. Handicap is a derogatory term. It derives from the word hand in hat for begging back in the 1800s from England. So let's try to not use that and stay with disabled as is the correct terms for this. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution, say aye.
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 And is anybody opposed? None opposed. That motion carries. Thanks, Todd. Good luck with your project.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Yep. Next item, number 6, is a request by Forward Development Group to rezone right-of-way and open space lands within the replat of the Meadows at Kettle Park West to SR5, single-family residential. And we do have a need for public hearing. Before we go into that, is there anything you would like to present, Director Shield?
Yeah, on the screen actually is the area that's subject to the rezone. You'll recall Castle Circle is being discontinued, that public area, as well as Block 5, Outlot 1 in the center of that. So that's the area that's being rezoned. The next item on the agenda is to move forward with the final plating of this area to create parcels that are oriented different and utilize this space accordingly.
All right, any questions from commissioners before we go into the public hearing? Hearing none, we'll close the regular meeting, reopen for the public hearing. I did not see anyone signed up to speak. So I guess we would close the public hearing right away and then reopen for our business. And I think Forward Development Group's on the line as well, if you have any questions for them from commissioners. Are there any questions? All right, hearing none, I would entertain a motion for the resolution that's in the packet for the rezoning of this right away.
I'll make the motion for this resolution.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution, say aye.
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 And any opposed? None opposed. That motion carries. Next item is also a request by Forward Development Group for approval of the final plat named Replat of the Meadows. And this one here, it looks like we're looking for a recommendation. Anything you would like to cover here, Rodney?
Yeah, the commissioners have seen this. It related to the preliminary plat. Really, it's just moving forward with the next step of the platting process. I'll highlight the the changes here on this larger overview map. This block 3 along the south side actually is, there will be one additional lot as part of this replat. Block 4, this is the area we just worked on the rezoning. This is discontinued, and this will culminate in 3 additional lots being created in block 4. Block 6, there's one lot being added into this block, and then block 11 was reconfigured, and it will incorporate 3 additional lots. So a total of 8 additional single-family lots will be created as a result of this replat, which was initially predicated on the changing of this unique and somewhat unusual bulb of a right-of-way. So that's being discontinued.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments from commissioners?
Rodney, clearly in block 4, some of those lots were extended. I mean, to have nearly a half-acre lot within the development seems that's a fairly large plot in there. How were the others in block 3, 6, and 11 affected by adding in the additional lots on there? Were the remainder of the lots reduced by significant amounts? Like what's a minimum size on the lots that are in those other blocks?
Yeah, that's a valid point. Obviously, the depth was created because of that right-of-way change in block 4. The dashed lines represent the originally platted lot lines. So you can see, like in block 6, the lot widths were changed slightly to accommodate the additional parcel of land. All of the lots as proposed as part of the replat would be compliant with our zoning code for the district. So that doesn't create any challenges here. Block 11, you can see how they reconfigured the corner lot, actually helped to create an additional parcel as well. In one of the additional 3 in this block was created related to this corner modification to the lot configuration. So yes, these lots do end up being a little bit excessive. There is some drainage easements along the back of these parcels that also come into play. So a little unusual, but I think very, very suitable to get rid of this irregular right-of-way that would be discontinued as part of this planning process. You'll note the resolution outlines the few conditions that remain that are necessary to be worked out. We're still finalizing a couple of easements with Stoughton Utilities along the back of lot 3, just to confirm some of those things. And that's not unusual for us to work through those as we continue before signing the plat.
All right, thanks. I think the highlight out of it is getting rid of that horseshoe in there.
Correct.
Any other questions or comments from commissioners? Okay, hearing none, I believe there's a resolution in the packet for this one as well.
Just put it up on the screen, Mayor.
Thank you. I would entertain a motion for the resolution for the replatting.
I'll make the motion for the replat.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any last discussion? Hearing none, and all in favor of the replat, say aye.
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 Any opposed? None opposed. That motion carries. Thank you. Item number 8 is a request by Randy Rosema to rezone the property at 2124 Whole Circle from SR4 single family residential to SR5 single family residential. This one does have a need for a public hearing as well. Director Shield.
SR4 and SR5 are both still single-family residential zone districts. What's the difference between the two? Principally related to setbacks. On the screen, I have up the Plata survey that shows the foundation on this particular parcel. You'll note that the rear setback in the SR6 district or SR4 district actually is a 30-foot setback. there's a desire to put an addition onto this building. And this unique, well, this ranch style footprint is quite large on this facility, on this building, and caused the building to be set back a little bit larger or farther because it's on a cul-de-sac. Therefore, the option that was presented as part of the application is to rezone it to the SR5, which allows for a 25-foot rear setback as opposed to a 30-foot yard setback, foot rear setback. So that's really the reason for the rezoning. It doesn't change the principal use at all. It's all related to the allowance for the setback distance for the proposed addition. The applicant's on the line too, so as you open the public hearing, you may seek questions or answers from him as well.
All right, any questions before we go into public hearing?
Do we know what the structure is going to be used for? Is it just storage?
I think you're muted.
Do we know what the structure is going to be used for?
Yes, the intent is to add a 3-season porch on the back of the home.
All right, any other questions before we go into the public hearing? All right, hearing none, we'll close the regular meeting, reopen the public hearing. Nobody signed up to speak for this one. So I guess we'll go ahead and close the public hearing and reopen for our regular business. We are looking for a recommendation to the city council on this one as well. And I would entertain a motion to do so.
I'll move to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll
I'll
second.
second. No, either way, take your pick.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion does carry. Item 9 is a request by Joanne Grassman for a conditional use permit approval to allow an artesian production shop use at 501 East Main Street. This one also has a need for a public hearing. Before we go into that, Director Shield, if you want to give us some background.
So this use would be a permitted or a conditional use within the district. You might recognize this as the former or passionately known as the Doughboy Building on Main Street at the corner of 6th and Main. There's a kind of a layout of the space as it's depicted in this illustration. The applicant's with us tonight and can speak more about the specifics, but the use is what's causing the need for the conditional use within the district.
All right, is there anybody you want to hear about Joanne's plans before we open up the public hearing?
I'd be fascinated to know what she's got in mind with this.
Super. Well, so we're looking at obviously renovating the building. And then the use for it will be twofold. The part that you see that's enclosed there, where it says makerspace, will be a woodworking makerspace. And that means that it's a membership situation, just like you would join a gym and go in and use the equipment. You can join a woodworking makerspace and come in and use the equipment whenever one would care to do that. So that will be the bulk of the building, and that is actually the piece that needs the conditional use permit for an artisan production facility. And then the remainder of the building will be an artisan home furnishings gallery. So the plan for the building is that people make things in the woodworking makerspace, and then there's a place to sell them in the gallery.
When you talk about a membership with that, is that like a daily, weekly, monthly membership or like a per diem sort of thing? Or do you have like a whole structure?
Yeah, there's, it's a monthly membership, or people can choose a 6-month membership for a discounted price. And then there will be 2 levels of membership, one for what we call hobbyists. Those are people who make things just for themselves, for family, friends. And then a professional membership for people who plan to use the space as part of their business to sell what they make.
That sounds fantastic. I mean, I'm excited to see what sorts of things get produced out of it.
Mhm. Me too.
All right, any other questions or comments before we go into the public hearing?
I had sent an email about this, and I know I got a response back, but it just seemed, I rode my bike down there. I only see maybe 2 or 3 parking spaces at the most, and having both a maker space and basically a small retail operation, I think parking is going to be a challenge, and I was told that that's not a requirement in the downtown district. And that's fine if that's the answer. It just seems to me that it's going to be a challenge, and it just seems like we're just saying, well, they'll figure it out. So that was the only thing I noted. Well, in addition to the bar right next door to the maker space, but I assume they've been notified and we'll have a chance to speak up.
Sure, Rodney, you want to kind of review the notice for the public hearing part of it?
Yeah, certainly the public notice is noticed so anybody can be present, but it's directly mailed to all property owners within 300 feet of the subject site. I don't think we've received any feedback from anybody in writing. Had we received something, we would have included it and gotten it out to the commissioners. But your parking question is correct in that the central business district, or the downtown district as we know it, does not require on-site parking. Therefore, the street parking, indoor public parking is the suitable or acceptable means of parking in this area.
All right, any other questions or comments before we go into the public hearing? Hearing none, we'll close the regular meeting. We'll go into the public hearing, and nobody was signed up to speak. So I guess we'll close the public hearing right away.
Mike Connor.
Oh, go ahead.
I did sign up to speak. I don't know. I got a notice that I was signed up, so.
Oh, that's right, you did. I'm sorry.
Yep, I seen it.
You might have purposely deleted my file. That's okay.
Yeah, you're right.
So with your permission, I'd like to go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry about that. I totally spaced that out.
No worries. Hi, I'm Mike Connor, Stoughton citizen, founder of Fab Lab Stoughton, involved in the Innovation Center at Stoughton. I'm in favor of this project because it will bring another makerspace to Stoughton. Another place where citizens can learn, create, and network with other artisans. It'll provide a stimulus for our local economy. It's a wonderful addition to our downtown community. It will repurpose an old unused building with good bones into a new space that we all can enjoy looking at by driving by, or we can stop and enjoy the fun. I met Joanne only once when I stopped in unexpectedly. She was sweaty, dirty, and determined. After a brief tour, I walked away inspired, a grand inspired, and that's the name of it. So thank you for letting me comment, and welcome, Joanne.
Thank you, Mike. All right. Yep. You sent it in at 10:08 this morning. So thanks for doing that. At this point, we'll close the public hearing and we'll reopen for our business. And we are looking for a recommendation to the city council for the conditional use permit.
Mayor, can I ask one more question, please?
Sure.
It's semi-related to it, but I guess more historic. The bar that is adjacent to that, was that part, were those two buildings part of the same thing, and one was split out, or how did that get built like that?
I think they're actually separate structures, and I think they're actually on separate parcels of land. They may actually abut one another, but I believe they're actually separate structures and parcels.
That's
Okay.
correct. Yeah, there's about a 6-inch gap between them in the back of the building.
Okay. I was just curious. I was looking at it on the street view map, and I could see is that chimney that comes up above it? That's part of your building, right, Joanne?
That's correct. Mhm.
Okay. I was just curious about how those two buildings fit together.
Mhm.
That was all. Thanks.
Yeah. I
Mayor,
believe
Alder Lagaku, present from Landmarks. May I comment?
Sure.
Congratulations, Joanne. This is a very exciting project. Mike Connors said it well. And for anyone who wants to delve out a few more of those details in the Landmarks packets, we are attempting to get the Depot Hill Transportation Historic District going, and you'll find more information there as well. I just wanted to say this is an exciting venture, and thank you.
All right. And if anybody's interested, I believe the bar is for sale.
Yes.
Let's take it over.
You write the check.
The social worker will do so.
All right. Any questions or comments? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion for the conditional use permit.
I'll make that motion to accept the approval of the conditional use.
All right. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? None opposed. That'll be on the city council in a couple weeks, but we'll probably see you there anyway tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Have a good night. All right, item number 10 is a request by Paul Coyle for the extraterritorial jurisdiction approval for a land division at 1442 Lake Kegonsa Road in the town of Rutland. Director Shield.
Thank you. This land division is proposed to occur within our planning boundaries, but long outside of our long-range planning boundaries, if you will. On this graphic that's on the screen, you'll see that it's off of Lake Kegonsa Road. So just to orient folks, 51 runs north-south on the right side of the screen here. Then you have Star School Road, and then Lake Kegonsa Road is the next one out farther from 138. So it's not in our horizon for planning this area, and that's why it would be allowable if so desired to allow this to occur.
All right, any questions or comments on this one?
Is this parcel is, I mean, I see it outlines the a residence and a couple of other outbuildings on there. Is that just to segregate that piece off and then the remainder of it stays in ag holding? Is that right?
Yeah, that's our understanding. It's really just to create the parcel for this homestead, if you will.
Okay.
All right, any other questions? Hearing none, I guess I would entertain a motion to recommend to the city council the approval of this ETJ.
I'll make the recommendation.
Is there a second?
Second.
And there's a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 And any opposed? That motion carries. Future agenda items, the only one I had on my list is I wanted to let the commissioners know that as part of the council rules, there is an amendment that would be added to the rules that will be under consideration tomorrow night that will give the committee or commission chairperson the authorization whether or not to go back to in-person meetings. If that's something that this group has a strong desire to do at some point, we could certainly have that conversation. There was some uncertainty on whether or not the city council could make that determination. And the city attorney, his recommendation is to leave that up to the committee or the commission chair. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. Any other future agenda items that you may have, Director Shield?
As we progress through the 51 West development, there still will likely be some additional items the Plan Commission and our council will see related to that. Final plat has been approved with conditions, but there's still some items that will likely be before the council at a minimum. We continue to monitor and understand how a potential large buyer may purchase a number of lots in Kettle Park West. Not that that will necessarily warrant any changes to the configuration of the lots there, but know that the buyer that might purchase all the single family lots is focusing currently on all the larger lots with single family lots, not the small single family detached lots. There was another builder that was looking at those, so hopefully that will come to fruition and move forward with those alley loaded parcels soon thereafter.
Thank you. Anything from commissioners for a future agenda item? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
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 And any opposed? None opposed. We are adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Good night, everyone.
Take care.